Hello, everyone in podcast land. I'm David,
And I'm Jono.
and this is the show where we talk about everything. Gosh, do we have stuff to talk about? It's the Let's Wing It podcast.
Yeah, like pretty much like the podcast name.
Yeah,
Literally, we have like 5 things we want to talk about, but we're
Yes.
probably going to go on tangents. We're going to go on stories.
Yes.
You're going to probably hear me rant about New Jersey. Granted, honest to God, I think one big thing with New Jersey, I think they let everyone make fun of them so people don't move here because it's actually fucking sweet.
Yeah, it seems pretty nice.
Sorry for swearing, but yeah, it's pretty nice. And basically enough, the only really bad parts is like Hoboken. Hoboken's nice. Like it looks like a mini New York City.
Okay.
And Jersey City. Jersey City is a little bit more run down.
Okay.
It's fine.
Have you been to Atlantic City yet?
Not yet, but apparently Atlantic City is actually getting better. So
Okay.
that's what I've been told. Anyways, yeah. So I mean,
we got a treat for y'all. We're gonna be talking about our experience in Baldur's Gate 3. We're gonna be talking about our halfway through the season of Castlevania Nocturne, the new series, I guess, of Castlevania from Netflix. I'm going to be giving brief thoughts on the Cyberpunk 2.0 update, including the Phantom Liberty expansion, and my thoughts on Only Murders in the Building Season 3, now that the finale has aired. Boy, we got stuff to talk to you about.
Also, too, I recommended you to watch it, but I know you'll probably won't watch it. I think I'm like 5 or 6 episodes into Ashoka, and yeah, I have some thoughts. And
Okay,
also,
please tell us the thoughts.
Yeah, I have some thoughts. Granted, I haven't watched the last 2 episodes, and apparently, spoiler alert, the fighting's are really bad. Which I could have told you that right from the start because episode 1, I thought it sucked for a reason, but no, it was a really big reason why it sucks.
Is it as bad as baby Princess Leia running around? Did you watch Obi-Wan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that scene where she's like escaping the adult captors and they're like, oh, and she's like slowly running and they're like fake running behind her. Oh, I love that scene. It's very funny.
So everything there. But yeah, here's so we'll talk about that. So here's actually one question. It's one question I'm gonna surprise you with. So since, viewers, David and I have been working in the YouTube industry for the last 5+ years.
Just
crazy. Like half a decade. Here's one thing, David. So, with the algorithm, everything is like subscribed, like, and engagement, positive satisfaction, viewers, blah, blah, blah. Now, since you watch YouTube videos and you like a video, are you compelled to like try to watch the whole thing as much as possible and leaving it a like? Or are you still like, oh, that's a cool video and just exit right away?
Again, you're talking in general?
Just in general.
It depends. So there's videos that I watch all the way through, like my daily routine. I get up at I actually push back my get up time. So I'm getting up at like 6:20, 6:30 now. And the first thing I'll do is I'll go down and I'll like have water and then just like watch an episode of Good Mythical Morning, just kind of as I'm like doing my stretches and stuff. And so I watch that beginning to end. But there's a lot of YouTube videos, especially if I'm watching it for some kind of specific information, or sometimes I watch like cinematography tutorials. And so I know most of the information, but I'm kind of like trying to get inspired by something, and that I'll jump 5 seconds at a time until I see something that I'm like, oh, that's cool. And so it's a mix of both. Do you watch the whole video?
Yeah. So, I mean, now I feel so compelled because, we put a lot of work, not saying put a lot of work.
Damn, dude.
It's just, I feel bad now because I'm starting to know a lot of these creators like Leo and, watching Climate Town, not just bikes. And I know
how much. You know Climate Town?
Not yet. No.
Damn it.
I'm just saying.
I want him to be my best friend. I love him so much.
Yeah. I'm watching. I'm just watching his stuff, and also good work now.
Yeah.
But I know like how much work these videos that we're working on, and I feel compelled to like, if I'm not even like watching, and I go, okay, I got enough information. If I'm halfway through, I will still just like let it play in the background.
I do that too.
Hit that like too.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I just would feel bad to like, oh, I don't want to contribute to the low I like the video
view time or whatever.
Yeah. So I do watch it. And sometimes once in a while, just because of like my clickbait brain is sometimes with even our videos at MKBHD, if I mistakenly click a Marquez video, I just gotta like leave this playing now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I already watched it. Oh, cool. I already gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna have this on the side, click autoplay, and just like wait for another suggestion.
I've definitely done that where even on like when we were doing They're Just Movies, or if there's like a YouTube a Linus video that I'm like, I really want this to do well, even though my contribution does nothing. Sometimes I'll just like I'll play it. And then I don't have autoplay on, but when I come back to my desk, like at a couple hours later or whatever, I'll just play it again, and I'll come back and play it again, and I'll come back and play it again.
I don't play multiple times, not on purpose.
Yeah,
but
so I'm adding 7 views to the 2 million views or whatever. So,
well, I mean, it's just they're trying to now. YouTube will try to find like your kind of characteristic and serve it to like 30. So your one view could actually mean 30 possible future views. So
that's fair.
That's how I kind of look at it. But anyways,
that's an interesting question. Thank you for asking that, Jono.
But yeah, if you are watching right now, hit that like, hit that subscribe because it's fun. And also we have like 30. This is our like 33rd episode.
Yeah. Oh, 33. Also, write a script to download this podcast 100,000 times so we get like 500,000 downloads on Apple. Like, don't do that.
Everything. But you know what actually will help us out a lot?
What's that, John?
Checking out our sponsor, Beacn. Do you know the number one reason a listener or viewer will turn off a new podcast or video?
Bad audio.
That's why Beacn Mic powers this podcast, and literally actually before they even gave us money or paying us, they literally are great guys. And this mic is awesome. Like we used to use Elgato DXs. This one is actually super easy because those ones use XLRs and you have to use like a bunch of the different things. The cost of those mics all in combination, I think they go up to like $500 plus.
Pretty easy.
This one at this time recording is about $250, and it just uses a USB-C cable. That's it. That's honestly it. It gives you broadcast quality. You're the judge. You can listen to it, and it's literally like I said, you can play. So save yourself some money and time by just buying a one-stop solution. So if you want $20, use offer code WING or click the link in the video description, beacn.com/discount/. They're great guys. They're awesome. I loved it. And apparently I think they got featured in Forbes. So that's sick.
Congratulations. Yeah, I'm a big fan of things being simple, working out of the box, and giving you great performance without a bunch of tweaking or knowledge necessary. And these are freaking awesome for that. So.
I mean, I like it. Even like those like we have 3 episodes that we were like playing around with the mics. Remember that? And
the first ones we recorded?
The first ones we recorded using the other mics.
The audio was it was
the audio, like, I mean, they're good, but like they required additional pieces of equipment and then us trying to figure things out. It is just, this one's just so much. So this is a longer than standard sponsor spot, but that's how much I just believe in the guys.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get right into the episode. I think we should talk about what everyone is playing at Linus' office.
Starfield?
Some people are still playing it. We gave our thoughts on that a few weeks ago, so go check that episode out. Neither of us are super hot on it, but I am so fucking hot on Baldur's Gate 3. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
If you haven't played Baldur's Gate, you don't know anything about it. The new one is basically it's a D&D simulator. It's basically if you took D&D and you just put it into a video game.
It's if you have no friends or wanting to like not interact with other people, me included, just play this game. And like I knew looking at it, I'm like, this game's gonna be sick. And to be fair, the first and second Baldur's Gate very much looks like Fallout 1 and 2.
They're very dated.
Yeah, very dated. You're not really going to enjoy it unless you're just hardcore into the lore, which is fine. There's freaking so much lore to this. But it's just a game you can literally play, pick it up, and you can kind of figure it out.
If you have any D&D experience, you'll feel right at home. I found the onboarding process and there's like not really much tutorializing, which was nice. But it was definitely a little bit intimidating to start. And it took me a couple hours to really settle in and like, not get it, but like get into it. But man, I didn't think it was really this possible to just like give me everything I enjoy about a D&D. And there's obviously some things that you can't go full imagination. But like the combat is really interesting, and it's like a great tactical version. And it's cool that like there's all the spells you can play in, maybe not all of them, but many of the spells from the games. But then the best part of the game, in my opinion, is the dialogue. Not only is it well written, but like you feel like every conversation really matters. And it's, to me, that's a sign of a good RPG, especially one with dialogue choices, is when I don't really skip stuff. I just listen and read everything because it could be important. And like, it's such a fucking thrill when, like, I'm in the second act now. And so I'm in like the hard area, and there's a lot of these like very high level bosses. But if depending on how you play, you know, you can walk up and you can hit them, or you could be already like in combat or like conflict with their party, and you can go and you have to fight them. Or you can go up to them and talk to them and kind of like play their game, and then outsmart them or trick them, or you know, make them like you. And I've had so far 2 in this area that, looking at them after we talked, I could not have fought them. They were way too strong for me to fight. But I got them to kill themselves just by talking to them. I used like my charismatic bisexual vampire. And I got like this demon of greed to basically like hate herself so much that she just explodes and dies. And like, it's such a fucking thrill to see that dice roll, and you can add stats to it and you can re-roll. But it's like, who knew that a virtual dice could be like the most thrilling video game experience ever?
So first thing I have to say is, so David, are you telling me that AAA graphics and a big budget studio doesn't mean like this is a good game because the graphics kind of
looks bad.
Like,
it looks bad.
Oh, it's not that great.
No, it's garbage. I mean, I remember what you just said when I talk about Cyberpunk 2.0. But Baldur's Gate, finish your thought.
No. So I'm 100% in agreement, because I grew up in a world of playing pretty much like Fallout 1, Fallout 2, and then Fallout 3 was still pretty much the same, especially Fallout Vegas. It's like the dialogue parts are honestly better than the fighting components.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I knew this going in. I knew this. Well, I saw the previews. I talked to some of my coworkers because they're playing it, and I knew it. I'm like, okay, I need to have a character that has fairly high, or at least bonus stats in persuasion. And honest to God, I those like parts where I know I'm just gonna fight because it's like, I just don't like that person. I'm literally just gonna destroy that person. But it was like, okay, it didn't click for me until near the beginning, and I'm like exiting the crypt because I just annihilated everyone in the crypt, and I'm like coming out this like halfling and they're raiding this crypt that I just killed everyone, and they're all like freaking out, and I was like, yeah, if you don't want to join them, run. And they all they ran, and I'm like, this is kind of weird because you just don't have to like fight. You can just literally just talk your way out for like 60% of the random battles. There are parts that you do have to fight. You just can't get around it. But it's just such a refreshing experience that I just don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to like just think it's a mindless shooter or a mindless point and click. It's just, I can make some awesome decisions. And also part 2, sorry.
No, finish it.
Yeah. Is that I love tactical turn-based games. Like, my love of XCOM, I will play XCOM once a year, even though it's the most frustrating shit game you could ever play.
When you miss at 95%, you're like,
you miss 95% with a shotgun with a guy who's literally the size of a fucking building.
Yeah, and the shotgun's like clipping through him, and you're like,
so that's annoying. So this had the same mechanics, because like, 60% chance to hit. You do this. The only parts of the whole combat that I find frustrating is that, the onboarding is really light. If you're a D&D player, you feel right at home. But there's sometimes I'm like, how are these guys getting like 2 attacks on me? What the hell? What do I do? But I'm going to get used to it. And also, this game is made to be replayed probably like 20 times over. And you'll probably still have a new experience.
Well, and there's so many companions, and the game is brave enough and knows that there's enough content that you can just miss so much. And I find that fucking thrilling in an age where, video games have to guide you through a very specific path, even in open world games, to make sure you play all the expensive content, that like you are hitting all the big things and like they're getting, their money's worth for the work that was done. Or it's just such a big flailing open world that it's all shit. But Baldur's Gate has all this like incredibly written, beautifully handcrafted content. And you can just like, you can leave that companion in a pod and like they're gone. You're not getting them. And I think that's so exciting. Or there's like all these missions you kind of have to like stumble upon. And you can be like, nah, and you come back and the building's burnt down and you're like, I guess I probably should have gone and saved those people, but fuck it. Yeah. And so the fact that they're courageous enough to let you just miss stuff, it's fucking thrilling, because then it makes every conversation feel important. It makes every companion feel important. And every time they talk to you, you're like, what do you want? I don't want to fuck it up. I don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah. It's because I have the biggest problem. I said this in the Wing It warm up, because you can go to patreon.com/wing it. We have about 10 to 15 minutes of warming up, talking shit, and planning out what we're going to talk about this episode.
Talking shit about you. Yeah,
we talk about shit than the regular viewers, because you guys aren't supporting us.
No, we love you still.
Just joking. But it's just like there's like one, like right now, this is near the beginning. It's not a spoiler at all. Because now I'm like in kind of a weird situation, because at the start, because it's like, okay, the druids are doing some sort of spiritual summoning. I did not care. I just skipped. I was like, I don't know. I don't care why. I don't like you guys anyways. The refugees want to stay, but the
druids like, fuck you.
Druids are trying to kick them out. And the third one's, the goblin camp, and someone's always like, oh, let's go kill those refugees. And I'm like, uh-oh, I don't know what to do. So like, I'm in that weird choice problem. And I think this is like, the thing is that like, I try not to play like, well, I'm contradicting myself, but like sometimes I don't want to replay a game, but this one I'm feeling compelled. I have to replay it to get the full experience. But now I'm like, I don't know what to decide. Should I help this person kill the refugees and kill the druids too?
Well, like minor spoilers, there's a companion that you can only get if you kill the refugees. And so like I didn't know until I had not done that, because I'm playing as a probably a true good character. Like I'm not lawful, but definitely good. Anyways,
I'm chaotic neutral. I'm self-serving. Sure. Like whatever will,
just like in real life.
Let's go capitalism. No, just like I'm like trying to like weigh it out. I'm like, do I like the refugees? Granted, half of them tried to steal shit from me when I was in there, which was super annoying.
Oh yeah.
The druids are kind of dicks, and I was like, fuck off. Like,
especially the leader. Yeah.
The leader's really mean to the refugees. I didn't like that. And like these goblins people, they're pretty straightforward. I'm like, we're just gonna fuck shit up. I'm like, I can respect that. Yeah. like you're in a fantasy world in D&D. Your life expectancy is not that long.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back and play it as an evil character. And I'm curious to see how evil I can really play it.
Literally a devil just comes out of nowhere.
Oh my god. So I'm playing it on PS5 with Cassie. So we're playing it together in split screen. And I was like, I was gonna get it on PC because it's obviously gonna be better on PC. But then I was like, it'll be so much easier just to be able to blast through this in split screen if I can just have it upstairs on the PS5.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look great. It runs okay. And split screen is a little bit challenging in terms of like, the icons become really small once they're scaled to the size. But the fact that there is a AAA RPG that you can play in co-op is fucking awesome. And we're having so much fun. Like as soon as this podcast is done, I'm going to get stuff rendering and whatnot. And then I'm going to rush upstairs. Cassie's waiting for me so we can just like play as much Baldur's Gate before I go to bed.
Actually, you should call her down and be like, give me your impressions of Baldur's Gate.
I was like, actually before the podcast started, I was like, do you want to come down? And she's like, I don't look pretty. And I was like, fuck you. You look pretty every fucking day.
No, I'm not trying to hit on your partner, but Cassie's always pretty. She's always great.
You're so pretty.
Oh, okay. Fucking bitch. No. So
joking.
yeah, I know. I'm joking. No, it's one of those. Like, actually, here's my question: is it even considered a AAA game?
Maybe not. Maybe it is like a AA game.
Yeah,
I know Larian has been growing, but you're right. They're like kind of like this is their Witcher 3, where it's like they broke through. They've been doing, was it Pillars of Eternity? Is that them? No.
I would consider it's probably like Witcher 2, honestly.
And I think I think you're right in terms of like the game scope, but I'm thinking more of like their breakthrough moment, because like this game is huge and it's like this weird game, and I love Divinity. That's the franchise. I love that they had to, before the game came out, they're like, hey, don't ever expect RPGs to be like this. Don't expect this to become the new standard. This is crazy. This is like a once in a lifetime, lightning striking, catching it in a bottle. Like this is special. Nobody competes with this. And I was like, damn, that's like, they were trying it. I think they were trying to sound, like, oh, please don't be mean to other developers. But to me, I was like, damn, they just fucking flop their dick on the table. Yeah, pardon the expression.
This is why I also said, even before playing it, because I've seen people play it, like the most famous D&D players out there, Critical Role. Also, rest in peace, Critical Role, because there is a scandal right now, which is really unfortunate.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Some ex-employees, okay. But it's a tarnish to the name, which is unfortunate, because Ashley Johnson, who is famous for Ellie for Last of Us, she's also involved with it, which makes me really sad too.
Not as sad.
But no, she's a victim. Let's just say she's a victim.
That makes me sad, but not as, sad, brokenhearted about not being able to enjoy yourself. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but anyways, I watched one clip of the person who usually is the dungeon master. He, this person is like the king of lore and knows how to really break a game, and it was interesting that you can see him actually stack so many boxes to get over into a castle, and he was able to use his jump skill to go all the way up, shoot a guy, and then jump into the thing. And apparently, like, you weren't even supposed to get inside the castle until like later in the act.
Yeah, but
he was able just to like cheese it, and I think the studio people were like, sweet, like do it. Like they kind of like took the same formula. Well, I mean, or maybe even Zelda took this formula, is like, cheat at the game. Like, if you can be creative and do it. And honestly, Dungeons and Dragons, that is the essence of Dungeons and Dragons.
100%.
Yeah.
You want to tell a good story, and it's not fun when you're playing D&D and someone's like trying to break the game in like a stupid way, but it's so fun. It's not for the dungeon master, but when you're like, oh, there's this fight coming up, but I'm going to like find a way to like slink out of town, talk to the captain and tell the captain to go fight those people while I run away. Like all the weird, random, stupid, clever things you can do are what make D&D special. And this game somehow allows you to do a ton of them. Even like simple things, like you're in combat. So in combat, you get one action and one bonus action, which is like D&D, and a certain amount of movement. So your default is 9 meters of movement. And so, you move and you do your attack, and you still have a bit of movement, and you're like, oh shit, I can't do anything. And you're like, wait, that guy is right by a cliff. And you're like, I'm going to go shove him. And you just shove him off. Or like, you can even like do combos. Like, you can throw a bottle of grease. If you're at the top of the thing and like people are trying to get up a ladder, you just throw a bottle of grease at the bottom and throw a firebolt. And then all of a sudden there's just a big like flame that lasts multiple turns, and they'll try and crawl through, but they'll die. Or like, you can combo, same with like, you can put ice on the ground and then shove them from way further, and they just slide into a pit of fire or something. And so you can be clever with the combat. It's even if you aren't, it's still really fun tactical combat. Like as you level up, I'm level 7 now. I have so many interesting spells, and like we've had some pretty good like moments of there's like 7 dudes surrounding our tank. And we're like, oh, fuck, like none of us are in a good range. But then our sorcerer gets close enough that it's like they can do their strongest area attack and hit all of them, but they'll also hit our tank. And we have to like pray to God that the tank rolls a saving throw and so they don't die. Yeah. So they can get one more attack and then hit the main dude. And like, we're like, okay. And it feels like I'm playing D&D where everyone's like waiting, anticipating for the dice roll. And you're like, and then you get it. And you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, shit, fuck yeah. And it's just like, I can't remember the last time I played a video game where I had the same thrill as rolling the dice in D&D.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's like this is why gambling is so popular. It's literally gaming and gambling so synonymous
Yeah.
in the thing. Because even like so sometimes when I see like some like lockpick or whatever, I'm like, oh, I have to get a 15 or higher, and that's really hard. Like when you think about it, it's super hard, even with all the added bonuses. And literally, I will go, fuck it, I'm gonna try it, and then I do it, and I get caught stealing, and then I go to jail. So it's like it's just the most magical thing is that I think this is one thing is I like spiritually I want to call this a AAA game, but
Yeah.
you know technically it's not
Yeah.
because it doesn't have like $100 million budget.
Mhm.
Blah blah blah. Who cares? But I think for me, I will consider this a AAA game because of the fact that it trusts the player that they don't treat them as stupid as like
Yeah.
it's not like a Modern Warfare 3. It's not a Starfield. Sorry, Bethesda, like you really fucked up that game. It is just the fact that you can just, like you said, literally the only limitations to this game is your creativity.
Yeah.
It's like literally just give it a try. Granted, I don't like shoving people too much because if they fall into the chasm, I want to loot them.
That's the trade-off though, right?
Yeah,
Is you get a free shove.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's worth it, but yeah, you don't want to shove the high level people because you're like, they could have had like something really good.
Yeah. And it's literally just a shove, like regardless of how, unless the mammoth people or ogres,
yeah,
you can shove it in.
There's just such clever things too. Like, so you can get a spell, Speak to the Dead, which is a common one. So it's like, you know, it's really designed for when you kill a group of goblins that ambush you. As a player, you can be like, hey, goblin, where the fuck who are you serving? And the DM can be like, I'm serving Shabooble. And you're like, I've got to go after Shabooble. But I didn't really think about it in this game. But then at one point, I had a mission where, minor spoilers, I'll give like a general whatever.
Yeah.
Someone's parents go missing and you have to go find her parents and they're dead. And so I was like, oh, fuck. And I went back to talk to her and I was like, I don't like any of these choices I have to give to her. And I was like, wait, I have a Speak to the Dead option. What if I go speak to that? And I could go and I could talk to him. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool that it's like, I can get a little bit more out of him to figure that out.
Oh, also I have her inheritance in the coffin there.
Yeah, stuff like that.
And you're like, oh, sorry, they didn't leave you with anything, but hey, I got 1,000 gold.
Yeah, there's a lot of that where it's like, you'll take a quest from someone and you're like, they fucking suck. I hate them. And they're like some lady was like, I have a delivery that got stopped. But go and get it for me, this chest, but do not open or I'll be fucking pissed. And I'm like, I'm going to open it so fucking hard. I'm going to open it so fucking hard. And when I opened it up, and I was like, I'm not even coming back to you. I'm just taking this.
I just like, literally, F you.
And then so, I considered going back just to start a fight and kill her, but I was like, oh, it's too much.
It's so good. But yeah, like, I mean, I don't think there's much else to really say. It's just like, it's a great game.
Yeah.
What I'm actually really looking forward to, like, this is the one game, well, DLC, I will gladly, Larian Studio, take my money. I do not care. Like, I actually have a contact at Larian Studio, and they were like, hey, Johnny, you still need that key? I'm like, no, I'm so happy to give you guys my 60 American.
They fucking deserve that money.
Yeah, just take my 60 American. But like, I'm like, but I did reply back going, let me know when those DLC, I will buy that too.
Yeah.
Like, just give me it to me. But one step further from that was I'm really excited to see other people taking this engine basically that they made or this kind of like gameplay and make their own campaigns. Like I would really love to like play if the Drumettes make their own campaign. I would love to play that. It's like it's such a now you have now made a sandbox.
Yeah.
Of
like
what
it's a D&D sandbox.
Yeah. It's like kind of like in a way made us before you in the gaming. Neverwinter Nights, like that was a D&D game that was in development hell for years. But when that game came out, it was like literally isometric D&D or Diablo style D&D. That was kind of real time ish. But now, this is just great. Like I'm just so excited.
Well, yeah, and it's like, what made Neverwinter Nights so special was that it was so easy to make custom campaigns, and those were the things that outlasted, the base game. No one cared about the base game. It was these custom campaigns. And so if we can get that with Baldur's Gate, even if it's like an add-on, I would pay for it. But this is such a complete experience. I'm so satisfied. And I didn't think that I could get such thrills from a game like this, and I got so many thrills. Oh,
Let's go.
It's never ending.
My only complaint is that I didn't understand the whole rest system.
Ah.
I was like you guys like, I'm in combat. I'm like, yeah, let's use that spell. Needs rest. I'm like, what the fuck is rest?
Yeah, so it's the magic system in D&D is a little bit weird. It's makes more sense on paper, and it's also designed to make it used to be designed that like wizard or magic users kind of suck at the beginning when they're level 1, because level 1 is just a generic dude. So if you're just a generic dude and you're like, I'm a wizard, you suck. Whereas a generic dude who's like, I'm gonna smash people with this mallet, it's like he can do more than generic wizard dude. But then as they grow, wizards become the most powerful. Sorcerers are so powerful, and I've noticed that with this game where my playable character is a ranger, and I'm controlling a Starin.
Yeah, I'm a ranger too.
Nice,
let's
hell
go.
Yeah. I'm controlling a Starin who's a rogue, and it probably doesn't make the most sense for our party, but we are curious because Astarion is like the big social media hit. Like everyone fucking loves Astarion, so we're like, okay, we'll fucking play with him.
Yeah.
And then Cassie's playing as a sorcerer, and we're playing with Karlach, who's our tank. Cassie was having a bit of trouble early on because it's like you get your however many spell slots, 2 level 1 or 3 level 1 spell slots, and that goes really fucking quick. And then you're hitting people with your stick, but you suck. But then now she's doing the most damage. She can like output like, if there's enough people in an area, it'll be like 200-300 damage, whereas the rest of us are doing like 30-40 damage per turn. And it's just like, holy shit. But the game is smart enough to have the AI target your magic users first. So they chase her, and we have to defend her, and we have to move her, and like she'll do a spell and have to like teleport away so that they don't gather her around her, and then we can send her tank and clear them, push them off. And so it's really thrilling and tactical, and it's incredible. It's just fantastic.
And get it on PC so we can play co-op.
I definitely will. I might be getting. I paid for it on PS5, and so I might be able to get a code for PC. And then I will probably.
Yeah, because you, myself, and Alex at my workplace can play. Because
I would love to.
Yeah, he's having a problem because he's a big like sports gamer too. But he's like, I could play NBA 2K24 or Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate.
He's been playing Baldur's Gate, which is really funny because he's a big NBA fan.
Sure.
But he's like, yeah, it's a problem because I start playing at 8 and it's 1:30 a.m. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time. Like, so I usually go to bed at 9:30. I'll be heading upstairs. 10, I'm trying to be in bed. But I've had a couple nights where I'm playing Baldur's Gate, and it's like 8:30, and I'm like, oh, I got like another half an hour, another hour, whatever. And then I play for a bit, and I look at my watch, and it's like it's midnight. And I'm like, fuck, shit. And so it's definitely hurt my productivity in a time where I'm trying to get back to being productive. But goddamn, I fucking love that game.
Oh yeah, so that's Baldur's Gate.
That's Baldur's Gate 3. Do you know what? I will give my thoughts on the next one first. I am not loving Castlevania as much as I thought I would. I'm a little bit disappointed.
Really?
To be transparent, I'm 4 episodes in. I have been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate, and I don't have time for TV. And it's not bad. Some of the action scenes are really cool. I like some of the moments, and I think it will get better, but I'm kind of not super interested in the political angles, and a lot of the characters aren't that interesting to me. Like, I don't actually think Richter, like, I compare it to the main series, and it's like, I much prefer Trevor to Richter. I miss Alucard.
I mean, technically, Alucard never died.
Well, so he'll be in this. I think I saw something about him being in this season, but if not, he's in the next season. But yeah, so far I'm like finding myself looking at my phone a lot watching it.
Yeah.
But so that's my brief thoughts. What do you think so far, Jono?
Yeah, I mean, watching it, I'm not like even Castlevania the first season, I didn't quite love the first season too. Sure. I thought it was okay. So I'm gonna give it a little forgiveness on how it starts, because the problem with even the first Castlevania and even this one is that I think they're gonna spend a lot of at least the first half, or maybe the entire first season, world building. because they have to establish going, hey, it's not like the medieval ages anymore.
Yeah, it's the French Revolution.
It's the French Revolution. You're in Europe. Victor apparently was in Boston, which I was like, oh.
What? Yeah.
It was like, okay. Yeah, that's super
that scene
weird.
was pretty fucking sick with his mom fighting, I can't remember the vampire's name, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And it just like, everything felt very good, but also it just didn't blow me away. But I mean, here's the thing. You watch the last season of Castlevania, the first telling of it. Man, it's so hard to top that. That's such a good telling. So, I'm giving this like so far like a 7.58.
Yeah, sure.
They're just like, here's my only kind of problem. Man, you made the vampires way too sexy. It's like literally like everyone's just like a supermodel. Yeah. It's like, yo, like, you really step it back. Even like the dudes are like you guys all like Abercrombie and Finch model.
Oh yeah, they're all so hot.
Everyone's like too hot. There's
vampires
so much
need to be hot. Why wouldn't you want hot vampires?
Well, even like the regular people, like they're like
the servant vampires.
Like this show is just literally Castlevania Nocturne Riz edition.
Yeah.
Like literally, like even like the mom
Castlevania Nocturne me on.
Nocturne me on. Oh, let's go.
Sorry.
But, I mean, like even like the mom of the speaker. Like I'm like, dude, like there's some parts you're like, Richter, I'm like, is Richter fucking the mom? Like,
yeah, I was like, oh.
it's like,
I mean, why not?
Yeah, he's like, oh, yeah, he's like, because there's a scene where the mom's like, oh, I'm coming with you. He's like, no, I need you to stay here. And there's like a long pause. You're like, they fucking?
Probably.
So, I mean, I think it's really good. There's some parts, the fight scenes were kind of like, didn't really care. Like when the Creole duo came in to save them, I'm like, this fight scene kind of sucks. But just I'm gonna hold out hope that it's just gonna get better. When Alucard comes in, you're like, fuck yeah, this is gonna be dope. And Alucard's gonna be like, I knew your great grandfather, and you'd be like, yeah, let's go. But here's actually one thing I'm actually looking forward to, even after this series, is I wonder. Because, I mean, you've played all the Castlevania games.
Most of them. Probably not
most
all.
of them. Yeah. It's like, I don't think they ever go beyond this kind of...
Time? Oh, they do.
Timeline.
Oh, they go into the future.
Oh, they go into the future?
Yeah.
Let's go! I can't wait!
The DS ones and the Game Boy ones. I can't remember which one's the latest, but I think 21 something.
Yeah.
So like almost 100 years in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe it's like 20... Maybe it's like 20 years in the future. But there's like near future ones.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm actually looking for. I'm like, I wonder like, because there's some parts you're like, man, these monsters are gonna be like so crazy good. But I was like, what happens when people have guns? Like legit guns, not like musket guns that they have in this show. But it's like,
they'll have to be silver tipped, I guess, because I don't think regular physical things hurt them.
But I mean, like you can kind of like hurt them, but it just won't do any real damage.
Yeah, that's fair. But I'm not sure.
Anyways, like. I think it's good. Animation's really good. The voice acting is great.
I found they've used more computer tricks this year. Yes. Like there's a couple moments, like I noticed in the episode as well, when we were waiting to connect, I was like, oh, I'll watch a bit of Castlevania. There's a shot where one of the vampires is like looking at a window and he kind of like tilts his head. And it's like, and you know, in most anime, you draw the like perspective change of the head tilting, but it was like just, it's like they did like a computer tilt. And so like the anime, everything stays the same and it's just like, and I was like, that's a weird, bad choice.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of cuts. And one thing I'm worried about, this is just generally speaking, is that Netflix has cut a lot of animated shows for the wrong reasons. I know Castlevania, they're planning to keep it because it's just like a blowout hit for them. But like, yeah, like they killed Inside Job, which was the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard for a studio to do. It's like Fox canceling Firefly.
Yeah.
Fuck
you, Fox.
Yeah. But we got a cool movie out of it, so I'm happy about that. Except for Josh Whedon. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm having troubles finding the words why I don't even watch it like full screen. I just like have it on this monitor and I'm doing something here and I go, oh, cool.
You're watching it right now.
Yeah, like I'm watching right now.
Yeah.
Oh, so much Riz. Richter.
Yeah. It's not that it's bad, and I think we might, when I finish it by next week, I'll probably have a different tune, because a lot of TV shows just take a little bit to get going. But so far, I've just found it kind of dull. It's not that it's bad. It's not that like anything in particular is like really pissing me off. Like I've seen some people online being like, "Oh, fucking fake forced diversity," and I'm like, "No, fuck you." Like
it's not.
It's just cool. Like that they went out of their way to have like slightly more interesting vampires than everyone being a European white vampire.
Yeah, actually, I thought the whole like the Creole, the Jamaican plantation thing. I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's fair to consider the races of all vampires.
I find people that are precious about the Castlevania story so fascinating, because I'm like, bro, like even like especially in the first season when they're like, Trevor Belmont's not like this. It's like, bro, Trevor Belmont was like 17 pixels high and he said like 12 like written lines. Like you don't know shit about Trevor Belmont.
Yeah,
he's also in Curse of Darkness. I know that. But
but literally all the Belmonts in the whole fucking series is literally just like
there's so little story until we get to like the much later ones. And even then it's still pretty light. And then the ones that have like are full 3D big stories are non-canon anyway. So like,
even the 3D ones, you might as well just call them Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. But the show's not bad. Hasn't won me over, but we will report back to you when we're done. But we just want to give you an update on that. Just like I want to give you an update on I don't know, I did Terminator. But Cyberpunk, if you aren't aware, Cyberpunk came out and it was kind of rough. But Cyberpunk 2.0 launched last week, 2 weeks ago. And with it, paved the way for the Phantom Liberty expansion. And I started a new Cyberpunk playthrough because I played it at launch. And I quite liked it. I would have given it like an 8.3, 8.4. The open world stuff kind of sucked. I don't like open world stuff. I really enjoyed all like the kind of more crafted linear stuff. The glitches didn't really bother me that much. Like there was a couple stuff, but then you would have these immersion breaking moments where you're like, oh, there's a bunch of people cowering from me because I'm pointing a gun or I fired a bunch of guns. And then you turn away and then you turn back and then they would all be gone. And you're like, huh? Or there'd be a traffic jam, you turn away, and then it's gone. And you're like, huh?
Yeah.
And police sucked. And there's all these like things that just weren't done. And they weren't that huge of a deal when you weren't paying attention. But then as soon as you saw it, you're like, I can't unsee this. Mm-hmm. I did rather like the game. I thought it was a fun story. I liked my connection with Johnny Silverhand, played by Keanu Reeves. Mm-hmm. But everyone knows what a fucking mess it was, especially on consoles. But 2.0 came out. And it was the biggest update, and hasn't fixed everything. There's still glitches, but holy fuck, that game is awesome now. It is so much better.
Nice.
And it is so incredibly immersive now. Like every little detail, just like, so when I first played it, I had a 1080 Ti. Now I have a 3080, which is still not, top end, but it's much, much better. And so having ray tracing on and like, having just like these incredible visuals day and night, neon and sunlight. And then just like the writing was always good. There's always like rough spots, but overall the writing was really interesting. I was really into the story. But like all the details in the open world are so much better. Like the new cop system so much better. Driving feels better. There's like little details. You can shoot out of your car or your motorcycle. Even just like the animations, there's not like these moments of like animation breaking. You're like, what the fuck? It's just so immersive, especially compared to where it was. And then you add Phantom Liberty. And so I wasn't intending on starting the Phantom Liberty content until I was like further into the game, but I by accident kind of, started a mission and then you're locked in for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. They knocked it out of the park. It is, if you liked Cyberpunk at all, any of like the kind of more mission things where you're kind of like brought into an area and kind of told specific things, Phantom Liberty is the best Cyberpunk has ever been. I'm not done the whole thing, but like it's so thrilling. It's like this, like it almost feels as crafted as like a modern warfare. These big set pieces, these big moments. Sick. But then it's in this beautiful world, and then there's still like liberty to explore, and there's just these great moments. I like we were talking about Baldur's Gate, but where you can like outsmart the game, and you'll have like a technical ability that allow you to open one door and you can kind of bypass an area, or you'll have a hack that you can turn off the camera or point it over there and get that guy. And so there's a lot of like little moments where you get that freedom even in the linear parts, and then it opens up and there's a whole new section of the map. Fuck man, they brought it back. Cyberpunk is awesome now.
Well, I mean, yeah, so I think I had the same kind of experience. Just not to cut you off or anything.
No, I talked.
But yeah, I think were you with Colton and I at that 3 a.m. launch?
Yeah, I was that.
So yeah, so just to give some background is that when Cyberpunk was about to launch, it was like we're all really excited. I came in early because we're going to shoot a short circuit, but also I kind of want to see what Cyberpunk. I remember going to the studio and Colton's like playing, like he's just like doing his thing because he was, I think out of everyone, he was like the most excited for it.
Maybe, yeah.
I remember asking him going, so is it good? Good? And I remember him saying, going, okay. And you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
So we're all freaking out. As light as we shot it, and it just broke. I remember it breaking so many times.
Yeah.
Because we'll try to play it in 8K, which
was not helping anything.
Yeah, it didn't help. But yeah, then I played it. I stopped. But for me, I think those turnaround moments, that one that you missed, which you'll probably agree with me after I say this, is that okay? The game launched. It was pretty good. On PC. On PC. Yeah, on PC. I never had a problem with any of the bugs. It was actually flawless.
It was kind of, really? No, I had funny bugs and I was like, this is fine.
I never experienced any bugs. I just thought the gameplay was like, okay. I'm like, I was able to like get so power level that I was literally just running through people. And I was like, this is kind of boring. So I stopped playing it, but then I watched the Netflix Edge Runners.
Oh, that one. Forgot about
and I knew the game was getting updated, becoming better, more stable, and looks better and everything.
Yeah.
So after I watched Edge Runners, I'm like, I gotta play this because it's so good. I loved it. Like I loved the ending because I had the ending where your character, I was a female version of V.
Okay.
Just like, you're screwed. You might as well just keep doing what you're doing and just kind of going.
Yeah.
I thought I was in the ending where Johnny, you just go through a solo kill mission against everyone.
Yeah.
I was trying to get that ending, didn't work out, but it seems like even that CD Projekt Red has just continually tried to improve this game.
Well,
and
they had such a great reputation and people were so excited, and then it just clearly wasn't ready, and it's such a shame because that will always be the legacy of 2077, where like, even though, I'm passionate about it now, it's when I talk about, Cyberpunk, there'll always be something in the back of my mind about like, man, that launch fucking sucked.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, you and I did unboxing on freaking Short Circuit.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I still have the box somewhere.
Yeah.
Not the big box, the inner box.
Yeah. But. I mean, ironically enough, every time we unbox a game, it's always like the most controversial games ever.
Yeah, Last of Us and this.
I disagree with The Last of Us people commenting on it. It's like,
people are just dumb.
Yeah,
but Cyberpunk, yeah.
So Cyberpunk, I kind of agree. But I mean, yeah, like I'm excited to play Phantom Liberty. I was a little bit worried because he got Idris Elba, not because it's Idris Elba.
What's wrong with Idris
I was kind of
going,
are they trying to like do the same thing of like, okay, we got Keanu Reeves. We need a celebrity to sell this game, but apparently Idris Elba is awesome in it, and it's fine. But it's just like, actually even comes back to even questions like, do we even really need celebrities in video games acting? I'm kind of in a weird space with this because Keanu Reeves is really good as Johnny Silverhand, but like even to the point, it's like, I think there's even a larger questions like celebrities in voice acting or in video games, like it's like, do we even need that? I don't know.
I think it's tough. I think you can make a case either way, and I think it depends on the games. Like I think in the case of Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves characters, it works really well because he's a legend in that world, and so like it makes sense that it's like a legend actor who's playing like the fucking badass guy who went out in a blaze of glory, and it's like that works for me. That's fine. But then it's also can be distracting when it's just like oh wow, that looks like Josh Duhamel in Call of Duty. Okay, cool. Wow, they had a
Yeah.
budget. They could hire real actors, not real actors, but they could hire celebrities.
Yeah.
And so I think that it has its place. And I know that people that are less into video games, it actually does draw them in. Like I know Zoe really likes the what's the studio that makes Red Until Dawn and The Quarry? Those games.
Yeah.
Or even like Detroit Become Human, because she recognizes the people and she's like, oh, it's like playing a movie. And so there's something like movie like about having the celebrities.
Yeah.
That being said, I am a fan of immersion, and I like having faces that are made for that world. And so, Cyberpunk or Baldur's Gate, there's no celebrity faces. You're just like, these are the people of this world.
Yeah.
Although,
and also to me,
I just said Cyberpunk doesn't have a celebrity face. Obviously, it has two. We just talked about.
Yeah. No, and the one thing too is like maybe just as a comment is that I understand those like both camps, like the marketability that you just stated with with everything, and then there's a whole kind of aspect of like I feel bad because like those like voice actors out there, hopefully enough they got a good deal with the new Screen Actor Guilds is still
going, and they're going to strike video games now.
Yeah, so it's such a like a weird situation because like I don't like it that regular voice actors are losing abilities to do get all these awesome roles, but also I understand the marketability of like having a even like let's just admit it Chris Pratt himself probably drew a lot of people to watch the Super Mario Brother movie. We all kind of don't like it. He's okay, but like without Chris Pratt, the movie wouldn't probably be as successful, admittedly. If I'm gonna just do math, it'll probably be fine.
Yeah. If I voice acted it, it would make less money than Chris Pratt. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm really indifferent. I think for me, for video games, I would rather have. This is a blanket statement. I would rather have less actors, like celebrities. Just not trying to say stay in your own lane because I don't like that. Because even, for example, David Tennant, I'll bring up later, like he's an actor, physical actor, and also voice actor.
Yeah,
and he's fucking awesome at both. So it's just tough. Like I would rather have. For me, default. If you had a gun in my head, I would rather have voice actors do voice acting.
Sure, I think that's fair. I think that like I am good both ways. It depends on the game, depends on the scenario. But I think we, as consumers, we don't give ourselves enough credit when we have a gut feeling for the intention of why developers or executives are including celebrities or anything in a game. And you can kind of tell when they're including a celebrity just because they're like, we have the money and like it's marketable. Yeah, that's good. And I feel like CD Projekt does that a little bit, but it hasn't bothered me so much, especially because I fucking love Keanu Reeves and I fucking love Idris Elba. So it's like, it's better than Call of Duty having Josh Duhamel. I gotta fucking why are you? What?
Yeah, it's like super tough because like I mean, I can't remember what I was going for it, but it's like it's just so awkward and weird. But I mean, I actually no, I have to maybe take it back because even like some executives, like they can hire regular actors to do commercials. Me being with like Marquez, we get pitched all the time to do commercials too, right? They appear in commercials, and I mean, our rates aren't cheap. Self-admittedly, I can say that publicly, and like we're probably robbing like a couple of like struggling, starving actors to do the same role that Marquez is. But I mean, I guess that's the way is that they want Marquez or they want Linus or whatever to do that because they do have that certain draw. So
it's hard because it's not 1-to-1 where like because they're doing that Marquez ad run, one impoverished actor must go starving one more month. And it's like it's tough. I love it's the same with movies. I love movies that are totally cast with people I've never seen before. And it's like that is the character. That's not an actor playing the character. That just is the character.
Yeah.
But then it's also like I go see the Daniel Day-Lewis movie because Daniel Day-Lewis is in it or whatever. Like the Ocean's 11 because there's like 10 people that I'm like, I fucking love them.
Yeah.
And so, I don't think there's like a clear way to go one way or the other, but
yeah.
I
It's weird, but actually that may mean just like let me segue into what I've been watching.
What's that?
Ashoka from the new Disney Star Wars show. Hooray! So, if you're viewing right now, you can see David being fucking sarcastic as shit. Because the fact that, it's very open. If you're a fan of their just movies, he just fed up with the Star Wars universe.
Very fed up.
Understandable. Except for, what's that one show?
Andor. That shit was good.
Great. So, with Ashoka, which is kind of like a spin-off from
Clone Wars,
which I watched. I love Clone Wars. And also a little bit because Mandalorian season 2 was just based enough the platform to start up all these other Star Wars episodes, Star Wars shows. And Ashoka was there, who is also from Clone Wars, who is, backstory. She was Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. And so she saw everything good about Anakin and also everything bad when he becomes Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. So that's the kind of story. Ashoka is now kind of like a standalone story between kind of like episode 6. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. 6 and maybe 7, maybe 8. But yeah, you can see like, the Republic is growing, everyone's happy, and then there's like Ashoka is like kind of like, in a kind of realm of just like going place in place, traveling because she has like guilt of surviving or sacrificing people. Anyways, I'm not really going to get into it too much. But overall, I'm actually really liking it. The storyline's really interesting. And it actually is kind of cool because it is about Jedi's, lightsabers, force powers, etc. But it has kind of a cool, unique aspect is that they kind of take a lot of the science out of Star Wars. Yeah. And it's more kind of spiritual or like good. Kind of like the lore or making it seems like everyone's like a magician. Like kind of like back when it's like episode 4, The New Hope, where everyone's just like, yep, those starships. Mm-hmm. Yep. Everyone has blasters. Yep. Yeah, that's cool.
But magic's those, like, the real shit.
Yeah, those magical space knights. And they kind of brought back that kind of magic. Yep. And also it's kind of a thriller that's like, it's kind of a Lord of the Rings moment a little bit, like to try to get this thing. They have like little puzzles. And yeah, I'm actually really loving it. What I'm not loving is the fucking lightsaber battles is so bad. It is such garbage. Like all the fight scenes are just terrible. Mm-hmm. And the first fight scene is that there's Ashoka's like kind of Padawan fighting against appears to be a Sith apprentice themselves, and they're fighting, and it looked really bad. But in my head, I'm like, oh, maybe it's a purposely bad because they're both kind of apprentices and they just don't know what they're doing. It's bad. They're just bad. But I haven't watched the recent 2 episodes, and I'm already seeing little clips of the fight scenes.
And people are making fun of them, or
yeah, people are roasting them, and I'm like watching it too. I'm like, oh, that's bad. He literally, Rosario Dawson, I love you. She plays Ashoka, but man, I don't know what happened. It's like did the fight coordinator just like drop the ball, or they just going, yeah, this executive's like, my daughter's trying to be a fight coordinator. Put her in. Mm-hmm. Put her in, because honestly, you can find someone probably half the price on YouTube who just does this like just for fun, and they do such an amazing job.
Yeah, Fight in the Last Jedi ain't so bad now, Star Wars fans, huh?
Yeah, but here's the cool thing. I guess you don't care. Hayden Christensen comes back to play Anakin.
Cool.
I'll be honest. I was like, you know what? He must have like really practiced hard on everything. Man, like him play Anakin, it's like, yeah, this is sick. Cool. Like he just teaches Ashoka another lesson, and it's just like it just keeps on hitting.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's just to me like that part kind of redeems him almost for the first 3 movies, even though how bad they were. Or at least he was in. But this one just felt so good.
That's cool.
It just felt so good to watch him.
Yeah, I always felt bad for him. I feel like nobody looked good in those movies. Everyone kind of looked like a bad actor. I know people love, Ewan McGregor, but I don't think he's like doing good acting in those movies.
No,
and so like Natalie Portman is world class. She's not good in those movies.
No, I think it's just literally Ewan McGregor just putting on his like British charm, and everyone's like, "Ooh, Obi-Wan is so sexy."
Yeah. They're like, we like the character. That means it's well acted. No, not necessarily. He does a lot with what he has, and I just am hesitant to people always like Hayden Christensen sucks, but it's like I think given the right script and opportunity, he could have been fine. So it's nice to hear that he's doing well.
Yeah, I will probably say this. It is probably, if I'm gonna blame anyone that killed his career, it was probably George Lucas. Like George Lucas is honestly, he got lucky 4, 5, 6. Like I will say that openly. He got lucky. Yeah.
It's tough. I think like it's hard to argue with the vision that he had for that franchise.
Yeah.
But I think that when 100,000 years from now, if we look at all the fantasy and science fiction properties that will have existed, there will be a lot there's a lot that currently exist that will be better than Star Wars. It's just, it was the first big movie one, and it's done such a great job of staying relevant and overtaking our lives. And there's something special about Star Wars. I know I'm a hater, but I understand like there is something so cool about laser swords and like this kind of like weird like Buddhist power thing. And like there's a lot of cool stuff that makes it work. And kind of like co-opting Western and samurai genre into it. George Lucas did a good job finding something for the right place, right time. But is it the best? I don't think so.
No, I honestly, those much better sci-fi movies out to date that I'm having trouble right now just naming it because we're
watch
talking
Blade Runner.
about Star Wars. Huh? Oh, Blade Runner is great. Well, okay. I mean, I have been on record that I fell asleep on the sequel. To be fair, I will repeat this. I was on a plane.
Yeah, you need to watch it on like a beautiful 4K display.
Yeah, 4K display. So, I mean, Ryan Gosling's great and everything, but yeah.
And especially Barbie. I fucking love
especially Barbie. But one standout person, like I said earlier, David Tennant as voicing the robot. I love you, David Tennant, man. I would love for him just to like lullaby me to sleep with like tales. It's like,
Do you watch Doctor Who?
Yeah, I love Doctor Who. He's great. He's back.
He's
back.
I'm so fucking excited.
Ta-da!
That's gonna be that's got to be soon. The revival or the specials.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's like a 2-hour long special. Or
is it October?
2 1-hour long specials. So. Yeah, like honestly, like to me, I think David Tennant coming back to playing the Doctor is probably the coolest thing ever because him being the Doctor, everyone else afterwards, everyone compares their Doctor to his Doctor.
Yeah.
And that even includes when the Doctor became a woman or even edgy old man.
Yeah. It's
tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I think there's a lot of people that like Christopher Eccleston's Doctor now, kind of with hindsight. But that series had its own issues. I'm a David Tennant fan. David and Donna and David and Rose. I like that I'm using his real name. But they're character names. To me that was the peak, was the David Tennant era. I liked Matt Smith, but I fell off, and then I've been watching again the later stuff. Peter Capaldi's very good, but you can tell the writing's gone off the deep end. And God, why can't I think of the actor after that's name? She's good.
Yeah.
The scripts just sucked by the time they got to her. And so I'm glad that they're doing a full refresh. They're bringing back Russell T Davies. And it should hopefully reset the franchise. I'm sure we will have thoughts. So it's November that the specials are airing.
Yeah. Like the Doctor Who to me is like a very special series because there's so much lore. Because that technically it's probably the longest running series, at least in British television.
It's it was on the air before Star Trek was.
Yeah, so that's fucking insane. And
Yeah.
he had like the worst props ever.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I've never watched the OG series ones. Have you watched any of the older ones?
I haven't like sat down and watched it. I've watched like YouTube, like, you know,
Sure. Compilations
people,
or
like,
whatever.
doing the analyzation of lore updates and stuff. And man, it's fucking rough. But you know, it's just those, even like the David Tennant stuff, like the props were kind of rough still, and
CG's
the
really
graphics, the graphic was kind of awful. But you just kind of like go, here's the thing with British TV is that you kind of have to give it forgiveness because they are the ones who kind of invented theater. When you think about it. And
well, no, the Romans and the Greeks.
Oh yeah,
that's the Greeks
true.
first, I guess.
But I mean, like, I guess to me, British people kind of perfected it, I guess.
Sure.
But it's like when you go watch theater, they don't have props really. They don't. You just get lost in the imagination with the storytelling and acting. And yeah, that's how I lose it for David. And also David Tennant's great in Good Omen. If you've watched that.
I watched the first season. I liked it. I didn't love the show, but I liked it.
I just love it because they're like, gay angels.
Yeah, because they're not like openly gay, but it's like, come on, they're gay.
Yeah, they love each other. But yeah, season 2's out now, though.
Speaking of loving each other, Only Murders in the Building season 3 just finished. I think I gave brief thoughts early on about it, and I think it was kind of tepid, but this is definitely one of those shows that once the pieces are kind of assembled, the later episodes fucking shine. The last like 3-4 episodes, fucking incredible. My one complaint is they do the thing where the main characters have to fight for too long. So like, I think it's until the 7th episode, they're fighting. And so you don't get like them gelling in the way that is kind of like the heart of the show until then. And I found that very frustrating, but those last 3 episodes are incredible. And so if you've never watched Only Murders in the Building, that's the mildest spoiler. Trust me, there's a lot. Watch all 3 seasons. They're fucking great. It's worth watching. If you've liked Steve Martin or Martin Short at all, they're fantastic. And Selena Gomez has this mysterious ability to have absolutely perfect chemistry with both of them. And it's just a great, fun whodunit.
I mean, you know, I grew up with Steve Martin, Short, especially like Father of the Bride and all that stuff. And they're all in it. And I love that kind of style comedy, and I'm really sad that like the kind of like the Steve Martin era with I can't remember his name. He played Baldur, Wonka. Shit, Gene Wilder. Yeah, like that kind of era of comedy that they were so good at comedy, physical, telling jokes, so, and even at the levels of drama. Yeah, like Gene Wilder's a great drama too. And Richard Pryor, that kind of is gone. Like it's like you don't see that.
Not comedies like that no more.
Yeah, so I want to watch Only Murders in the Building.
This season especially, man. Steve Martin's really fucking hard this season.
Yeah. So like I'm kind of like waiting. What I need to do, and another recommendation, I do want to bring one point back later. I do need to finish Poker Face. I got my Plex server back up.
Nice.
I got Poker Face in okay ways. But yeah, like I think I watched the first 3 episodes, so I want to finish that off.
Yep. I don't think they're not like super serialized, so you can just jump right back in, which is nice.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see how she gets chased by that one guy and everything else. So that's a great show. But Selena Gomez is on a fucking renaissance now. Like she is like. She made fun of Chris Brown, which rightfully so. Yeah. He should not have won a VMA. He shouldn't even be fucking celebrated.
What the fuck?
Anything. Yeah, I don't understand. Every time a Chris Brown song comes up on my Spotify or
like,
my
no thanks.
Apple Music. Yeah, Jolie and I, when we were traveling across country, every time it came up, we would always go, "Fuck you, Chris Brown," and just like skip a song. Yeah. And well, hopefully enough, Spotify can listen to our mics and know that we're disgusted by it. But it's just, man, so much like thirsty guys out there with Selena Gomez. Those like on Twitter, they're like Selena Gomez in Paris. I'm like, no one's talking about her being in Paris.
Yeah, I mean, people gonna thirst after beautiful celebrities.
Yeah. So, but the one thing I'm really happy about is that Selena Gomez Yeah, she's very gorgeous and everything, but she's not like back when she was like super skinny and thin. She's showing that you can still be beautiful, confident, awesome at whatever body size, as long as you're healthy. That's all I ask. It's like as long as you're healthy, she's doing it.
She's great.
So, good job.
She's fucking funny, and I'm glad that I've now discovered her thanks to that show. Because before, you know, she was the witch from Waverly Place or whatever, and I didn't really watch that. And she had music that I didn't care about, but now she's that like dry, sarcastic, sassy lady that I fucking love on Only Murders in the Building. Yeah. And so that's my last recommendation for the week. Jono, you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's like, I think that's pretty much it. I think we're just going to keep powering through Baldur's Gate. Maybe we'll have a kind of an overall review.
And we will.
I'll probably pick up Cyberpunk, but you know what? I think everyone's just kind of holding out the breath for two things. Two things is Loki season 2. That's coming out in a couple weeks. Oh, next week.
Next week. Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, next week. Yeah. So it's gonna be within October. And for video game out there.
No, it starts tonight.
Oh, let's go! Oh, I'm gonna watch that tonight. Oh shit.
No, I'm gonna play Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, we're gonna play Baldur's Gate. So actually, you know what we should do? We should let it like spool up for like 3 or 4 episodes. Give kind of a temperature check on it, and then we can also give our temperature check on Spider-Man 2.
Spider-fucking-Man, let's go.
So I'm so screwed because I have to play. I have to finish Miles. I have to finish Baldur's Gate. I got so much work to do. It's like,
why sleep?
Yeah, I'm playing disc golf a lot, and I have to walk cadence, and I have to work out.
You just have to find a way to do 2 at once. You know, walk cadence, I gotta play Spider-Man, go to the gym, play Baldur's Gate.
I have to figure out how to extend time to make it a 36-hour day.
That'd be awesome. Actually, I think a pretty cool superpower. I remember hearing a story. I'm pretty sure it's urban legend, not real, but some farmer who got knocked on the head really hard at some point or whatever, and he basically didn't need to sleep as much. He could sleep 1 hour a day and feel as rested as anyone else. And I'm like, that's a fucking superpower. Having like an extra 7 hours a day. I'm sure if it is real, there was many other complications that balanced it out. But the idea of just like, I like sleeping, but not needing sleep and just being able to like do things. Yeah.
Oh, actually, even maybe just being a little weird and kind of going back to our day lives of reviewing tech. I would like to review the 8 Sleep. Full disclosure, they did provide me one. They sent me one. They do sponsor the MKBG channel. And also on your side, they sponsored the LTT side.
It's true. I know. I never got to try it though.
Yeah. But I mean, they're not paying me directly. They provided one, but I told them I will give them my honest opinion about it. So I will give you that. But just, you know, TLDR, I know this is probably like a super 1% flex. So far, it's fucking sweet. If you can afford it. And also subscription. So far it's awesome. But I will.
Oh yeah, there's a subscription. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's
a subscription. Kind of sucks. But yeah, it's super awesome. But I'll give my full review after 1 month.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Sounds pretty cool. All right. Well, until next time, you can reach us at Let's Wing It 22. Let's Wing It 22 at gmail.com or on our Twitters, Let's Wing It Pod or Jono Tan 86 or The Chosen David. Or you can sign up for the Patreon. That's a great way. Let'swingit.com/Let's Wing It.
No, patreon.com.
Patreon.com/Let's Wing It. What did I say? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
You just said Let's Wing It. Let's Wing It.
Or you can send your $1 million checks directly to my house. That also works. I will definitely give you a shout out. But yeah, I think that's it for this week. We appreciate you for being here. You guys can like, subscribe, rate us, just like we were talking about earlier. On whatever platform, leave us 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. And thank you so much for listening. We will see you on the flippy floppy.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.